I know a lot of you guys want to learn how to make some more money. And you guys always ask me about drop shipping or some sucker shit like that, but there's a better way. And my man, Ron, came through to talk about Amazon FBA. He owns a company. Can you explain to people what Fulfilled by Amazon is, how somebody can make money doing it? Or nobody knows this industry better than you.
If you want to sell Amazon FBA, we should start with just the basics. And a lot of that is, it's acquiring contracts first from distributions and manufacturers. And that might not be a lot to you guys, but when it comes to the traveling, we talk about flying from your home and taking time away from your families and spending time where it matters most, which I know we all have to do that for work, but I'm talking about sometimes you're away from home weeks at a time. And you're knocking on people's door that sometimes don't even want to give you the time of day. And it takes you having to dial down, not just you having the money to spend. You could have $1 million in your bank account. These people don't want to sell to you until you show that you've taken the time to get a distribution license, or you've taken the time to acquire a warehouse, or the fact that you have 100 employees that you pay $100,000 a month for every single month just to keep the doors open. And I'm not saying that you guys don't have the access to do those things. Maybe you do have the access to do those things, but it also now comes to the monotony of understanding Amazon's terms of service, which if any of you guys have ever studied the tax code before, which I know that the majority of you listening to this never have, that's what Amazon's terms of service is like. And that's why it's important to have a law team or having a team that studies that on a daily basis to know what the ever-changing policies are like inside Amazon. That way you don't ever step over the line and you can continue to make money on Amazon's platform. Yes, there's a $1 trillion pie that's on Amazon. And yes, there's a lot of money to make on Amazon's platform. But if you don't take step-by-step precautions and do all of the things that we just talked about, which again, this is a lot easier said than done, I would say that it's not even worth trying to make money on Amazon.
It's not even worth it. So like all these guys saying you can make money with Amazon FBA and they're selling you the FBA course, you're saying that it's not as easy as they make it sound.
I would go as far to say this. I know there's another team that they're here in this city and they've switched up and they've moved to another platform because they have all the things that we've talked about, but they just missed one step and now they're currently in a $7.5 million lawsuit. Amazon's holding a ton of their money. And I don't even know that they necessarily did every single thing wrong, but all it took was one hiccup and one skip step. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they didn't have those letters that are associated with all the traveling that we talked about. Because you feel like you can get away with this sometimes when you start making X, Y, Z in money. This isn't one of those things where you can just make part-time money. It is very much a full-time job and then some. And that's why I say you need a team employed, because you need people around the clock watching and seeing what's going on, especially if you had your own money on the line. The last thing in the world you would ever want to do is put $100,000 of your own money inside Amazon. You felt like you did everything right.
Yeah.
You missed a step and then they get the right to hold your cash.
So what is it when I see all these people saying that they have their own Amazon business and they're fucking buying shit wholesale and shipping it to Amazon? It's like, that's not real anymore.
It's not. There's a reason why a lot of those people are out of business and they're bankrupt. They're here today, gone tomorrow. There's a reason why we've been here for the last 8 years. And that's because I've made sure that I've followed every single step and I've fallen in line with their code. But at the same time, even though we're entrepreneurs, we provide our own business, we follow our own market, we all have some rules to follow one way or another. Mine just happens to be a piece of $1 trillion pie. So it makes sense for me to be able to provide, an opportunity for other people to be a part of that, because the more people that can be a part of that for me and all the things that we've built and the team that I pay for on a month-to-month basis, the bigger slice of that pie that I get every single month, i.e. the bigger slice of the pie that you get. Again, unless you have all those resources, you can't do that. It's not possible to do anymore.
One of the reasons you're able to succeed is because there's a lot of people who invest and they have stores. You buy the products at bulk, or?
It's one of the pieces. I mean, I have a team that specifically does product research, that my other team that travels and goes and networks with these teams that are at these distribution events, which, by the way, you can't even get into the door unless you can show receipts, certificates, and things of operation that show that you're compliant by the state, compliant by Amazon, compliant by Wholesale. You can't even get in the door. Now, mind you, that's the first step. You get in the door. I know this is what you're looking for. Now I got the money and the account, which is the next step that most people can't do. I now have to convince those people to allow me to be able to sell on Amazon, because most people have had a bad, we'll call it awakening with Amazon, because those people that you're talking about have bought from those places, had a bad opportunity with the way that they set up Amazon's operations, because they skipped those steps. Not only did they lose the product, they lost the seller, those companies don't even want to do business with Amazon anymore. So they didn't just ruin the opportunity for people in the marketplace, they also ruined it for companies that could have made more money. And the big scheme of things, like a big brand, like one of the Dude Wipes was a big one. I went and talked to them and they're like, oh no, we dealt with the seller before. And I went and I looked into their metrics. That company got shut down 3 years ago. I looked at their product development versus their competitor. They were literally losing a little over $1.3 million every single month just to a competitor that knew how to actually position and sell their product versus them trying to do it themselves.
You had to sell it on Amazon.
Yes, just on their platform. Regardless of like how big your brand is, like it's $15 million every single year is nothing to blink at. And that's the difference between somebody that knows how to do it versus somebody that just throws something at the wall and says that they know how to do it.
So you have exclusive deals with with these manufacturers and suppliers.
Yeah.
So if they want to get it, they got to get it through you.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I also have the money. I have to have the money to spend to do it. So the more people that I have, the more buying power that I have. Like when we acquired one specific brand, I won't drop a name, but everybody likes to take their kids there. I had to come up with $600,000 to spend in a matter of 7 days. And that was this whole ordeal on how that happened in the first place. We went to a toy expo. I met an individual. He did the same thing. He heard all about all these Amazon automation companies that are doing their thing. And it just seemed like something that I was just trying to throw and see what was gonna stick at the wall. And he called me one day, mind you, Sarasota is like an hour and a half north of Fort Myers. Our warehouse is located 5 minutes down the road from Amazon's biggest fulfillment center in Florida, Fort Myers, Florida. And he goes, hey, I'm about to pull up at your warehouse in 11 minutes. We just shut down shop like 15 minutes ago. I'm calling my warehouse manager. I'm like, hey, this guy's on the way there. He wants to come see everything. He wants to make sure that it's AC and climate controlled. We're really air conditioned. We take care of the products. We're doing everything that we say that we do. I need to get everybody back in there ASAP. After rushing and going through this whole crazy experience with no heads up, by the way, he goes, all right, everything checked out. This is your minimum order quantity, your MOQ. You got to meet a $600,000 balance. Place the first order in the first 7 days. You do that, you acquire the contract. I'm like, okay, so this is how we're playing ball now. So the people that think that they just want to get into this for like everyday sellers or want to be an FBA experience, if you want to get contacts or you want to get access to products like that are selling every single day, these margins and these things that people are talking about, you can go about it the right way by doing things like that, or you can go about it the wrong way. And even though it might sell and make you a margin on Amazon, when they ask for that documentation and the company that you went through or yourself didn't do what we did, they have the right to hold your products and hold your money.
It actually makes a lot of sense to work with someone like you, right? What's it like to say, I got a bunch of bread, I want to get involved? What's the process like, start to finish for the investor?
I'm gonna walk you through the procedures of Amazon. We're gonna get you through the initial application and the setup. I'll go through all the legal procedures to make sure that you meet legal compliance. And I'll make you a legal wholesaler in the state of Florida, or whatever state that you're in. And then I'm gonna attach you, I'm gonna co-sign for you, which is part of what already inflates the value of your store. Like you're already gaining interest in your storefront before you even sell a product. Most people don't even have access to sell some of these products. I'm gonna co-sign for you no different than if you had poor credit and you were getting that car. As I put your name on these applications, you now have the capability of buying some of these products. If I do that for you, after we go through all the legal compliance, you're gonna fund the store anywhere from 15 to 20 grand to start the store off. And I'm gonna buy in wholesale quantity as part of like the pallets that are shipped into the warehouse, a portion for you of $15,000 to $20,000 in products.
Okay.
I'll then list them on your store. It's a little slower at first. You got to get some movement, some traction moving inside Amazon. But it's the difference of selling those products out within sometimes 30 to 45 days to sometimes, if you're doing 15 to 20 grand, it's gone in like 2 to 3 days.
Really? And you saying that on average they're getting how much, what percent on that 10 to 15 grand?
Anywhere from like 18 to 22%.
Wow.
Every 30 to 45 days is the actual average.
So you just keep flipping that money to say.
Over and over and over and over again.
So theoretically, you wouldn't even need the money, you would just need a credit card.
If you liquidate it, wholesale is a little bit different. It's the very first time. I was a firm believer for a very long time that if you used a debit card, you were broke. I know that might sound a little crazy and asinine to most people that are listening right now, because credit's king. And maybe we could flip if we're doing something that's more of like a funded account traditionally. But when you get in with like some of these bigger providers, they're giving you ACH instructions. They're not giving you a credit card to swipe for $500,000-$600,000 orders. So yeah, we could liquidate some of those things for you. I'm not eating the fee. I don't mind doing it for you.
Yeah.
But there's no way.
You need to have that cash.
Yeah, but it's gonna constantly be flipped. Like it gets deposited back into your account every 14 days.
Got it.
So it will come back to you.
Got it. So you can keep flipping the same money.
And then once you progress to over time, like to give you guys context, the state in which my wife and my store is in, like every 10 days, they have like this little gold button that's like a direct deposit of funds. I don't know if we're pushing up our time, but I'd rather get my money deposited into my account a lot sooner than later. Like 8 days is a big time when you can do that 2-3 times throughout the calendar month. So rather than get paid out bi-weekly, I just get paid out every 9 to 10 days.
This is indefinite. You could keep running the same play indefinitely. Do you add more money? Can you add more money?
Yeah, well, the idea is to grow you and grow scale. So like when you first start off, you might get a 2.5 by 2.5 or 3 by 3 square on Amazon's platform. You have to prove your worth. Regardless of like, I could be the best friends with the owner of Disney. They won't let me sell Disney products until I earn my right.
Got it.
Which like there's a quota, I won't give the exact number, but we'll just say like it's north of 1,000 products you got to sell first.
You don't make money unless the investor makes money.
Right.
That's the beauty of it.
Right.
If somebody wanted to get involved with this, how would they get in contact with you?
We're everywhere. If you guys want to look us up on greywolfinvesting.com, Grey Wolf Investing on YouTube, Sales Guide has all the personal pages. If you guys are local anywhere in Sarasota, you might have heard of us. We got awarded the Key to the City in the city of Sarasota by the mayor.
Hey.
That was a really big one. And then very recently, I guess a couple years ago now, we joined the National Association of Wholesale, which we got our first government contract in Washington, D.C. So,
congratulations, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, yo, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Awesome, man.